Rachel, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss the Fundamentals HESI. So a lot of nursing programs either use the ATI or the HESI to do semester specific testing. So I believe there's an ATI for fundamentals and there is also a HESI for fundamentals. So I wasn't finding a lot of information online or on YouTube or really from other students about what to study, how to study for this test. To be fair, our campus only starts the nursing program in the fall, so it has been quite a while since the upperclassmen have taken this specific test. So the only thing they could recommend was one of the books that I'm going to show you, but they weren't able to really talk about specifics anymore. That's been so long ago since they've taken it. I took my HESI back at the end of November or the beginning of December, so it's still fresh in my mind, and I would like to go over things that I thought were important. So the HESI covered, at least for me, procedures that I had learned for fundamentals. So any procedure that you learned in fundamentals, be prepared to be tested on it. So things like Foley insertion, NG, trach care, setting up a sterile field, sterile gloving, anything like that. Go over your procedure, know what order you would do it in, and be prepared for that on the test. Another thing was delegation, what you can and cannot delegate. Surprising to me was who you would contact. Like, would you contact the physician? Would you contact social services about a patient? Know what specific role each profession plays in healthcare. Again, ABCs, Maslow's, super important for this test. I found the HESI questions to be a little bit different than my test questions for fundamentals class-wise. They're still NCLEX style, but they're just a little bit different. So one book I would recommend is the HESI Comprehensive Review for NCLEX-RN examination. The book itself for fundamentals is not actually helpful. They do not have a fundamentals section in it. So I had to purchase the online portion of the book because I bought a used book and the code had already been used. I am all for saving a buck. However, if you are taking a fundamental specific HESI, then you will need the online portion and you might as well buy the new book so you know you have it. I ended up paying not a lot for this book, which was great, but it wasn't going to help me on this particular HESI. And I think I ended up spending maybe $45 or $55 for just the online portion of the book. And I could have had it buying the book, which was pretty much the same price. So online, it will have a fundamentals test that you can take. Take that test over and over and over again and read the rationales for every reason. There weren't questions that were the exact same on the test, but there were questions that were close, and the rationales were super helpful with figuring out the answer that they wanted. I also used the online adaptive quizzing. Again, they had a HESI section that I did use. Those questions were much harder than the actual HESI. So what did I score? I scored a 1051, and that ended up being a 90.67 or something for percentile, national percentile. The national average, I believe, is an 844. So I didn't get a perfect score, but it was a very strong score, and I will show a picture of it now. So you can see that 844 is the national average, and like I said, I scored a 1051. We did have someone in our class that scored a 1200, which was great, absolutely awesome. And she recommended, which I did use this a little bit, but not like I should have. She recommended studying out of this book. She said that this really helped her. Again, I love the fundamental section, but I should have been using it a little bit more for the HESI itself. So that's the only thing I think I'm going to change going forward for studying for these HESI tests, is using the NCLEX-RN from Saunders a little bit more. That's all I have for you. If you have specific questions that you want to ask, just comment below and I will elaborate on whatever I can and try to help you out as much as possible. Have a great day.